Doncaster has had a racy past for many years, being the home to both the famous horse track and Top Gear presenter Jeremy Clarkson.
Suspension is brilliant!
It's also been the location for the classic BBC sitcom Open All Hours, but after dark, it's the scene for a far less family-friendly trade. When the sun goes down, Thorne Road is the playground of the working girls of Doncaster. From the town centre up to the Royal Infirmary Hospital, the surrounding streets become a red light district. Is it really a problem though? I spoke to shoppers in the town centre to ask if they were aware of the area's reputation at night.
Yeah, around here, top end of town, yeah.
The only problem is that there's a certain area in Doncaster that is associated with prostitution, and it's down in town more where there's like a street and you always, obviously it's known for prostitution.
Yes, I am. It's the same with Sheffield as well. But it don't matter where you go, they should actually, in my eyes, they should make it legal.
The recession has meant that more and more women are turning to prostitution as a way to survive. Changing Lives is a charity that's been set up to help women get off the streets and into a better future. Every Friday night, Michelle and Kath are here on Thorne Road to offer help and a hot drink to the women. They've seen a rise in the number of girls working the street.
Well, a lot of it we've noticed over the last, I'd say 4 months ourselves, stood out here on the streets, is benefit sanctions. Yeah. Most of the girls that have come out, have come into this, who've done it previously, so it's been something they do now, but have come back into it, it's been because they've been sanctioned from benefits.
Yeah, we had one who come and she'd had a letter saying you need £70 a week to live on from government, and her benefits were going to be £2.63 a week. So it was like, and housing's another massive problem in it. There's lack of social housing, so these women find themselves homeless.
In August 2013, South Yorkshire Police Chief Crime Commissioner Sean Wright said, "I'm pleased that the police have now taken positive measures to tackle street prostitution in Doncaster, and it's reassuring that the women involved in this type of crime are gaining support from local agencies." But a new study released by Doncaster Council has shown that reports of prostitution have gone up by 61% in the last year. From April to December 2012, street workers were reported to the police 195 times. In the same months a year later, that figure rose to 313. So, what went wrong?
I think it's a little unfair to say that something has immediately gone wrong. There's a lot of work being done, not only by Sean Wright, the Police and Crime Commissioner, South Yorkshire Police, Doncaster Council, Changing Lives and the CPS, all coming together to address this issue from a variety of angles to make sure we address the cause rather than just the symptoms and move it on elsewhere for it to become a problem again.
This street might look the picture of northern suburbia on a warm summer's evening, but for the women working on Thorne Road, it doesn't take for the sun to go down for them to start looking for business. For them, time comes at a price. While we've been filming, we've already seen 3 women looking for punters. One of those women was called Jane. Jane's 30 and she's been working as a prostitute for 17 years.
I've done it for that long. For heroin and drink. You know what I mean? I'd say I've probably been out with over about 6,000 men.
There are between 14 and 17 girls working just on Thorne Road. They wait at bus stops to avoid police suspicion, but even when they are questioned, they don't take much notice of the boys in blue.
Fuck the fucking place. When they pulled me up, I tell them straight, because I don't stand on corners, I walk. So I said to them, unless you see me get in a car, get out of a car, approach a car, bang to rights, yeah, you're harassing me. So they just gone in a bit. They don't even bother stopping me, really. Because I don't hassle, I just do my thing and that's it. I tell them I'm not going home until I've done a fucking punter. Simple as that, innit?
It is very important that we do get out there and engage with the women, and Changing Lives is doing a wonderful job of that, and helping a lot of these women to understand that there are alternatives for them. There is another path they can take that leads them away from street work and into more legitimate forms of employment and training opportunities that will help them to have a better future.
But prostitution isn't just a Friday night job. What about the other 6 nights of the week when Kath and Michelle aren't there? We called a lot of times to try and talk to a manager from the charity about their outreach work. We even offered our services as volunteers, but we were completely ignored. Kath and Michelle weren't allowed to discuss this, and while the police and the charity claim they have a solid presence in Doncaster, is it more of a veneer? One prostitute we spoke to, who didn't want to be identified, seems to think so.
I mean, what is there for me to do? There's nobody really who cares or is going to help you, and all they're doing is they're cracking down on it. They're not offering any solution. They're just more problems. Been mugged quite a lot, beaten up. Once I went into hospital, had a black tie. It wasn't anything really serious. I'm one of the fairly lucky ones in that respect. I've actually come off relatively unscathed. I mean, some of the other girls have really, really bad stories about things that have happened to them, like they've been raped, they've been just terrible things. But
being kidnapped, kept for 3 days, knife put to my throat because my friend robbed a yardie black man. I was there chilling, so he's seen me first, thought, oh, I'm one of them that spent money and robbed him. Kept me 3 days, tied me up. They didn't rape me. They just like pissed on me and being dickheads like that, kept me out naked 3 days later.
We know them all, we know the stories, don't we? We've been coming out nearly 2 years, haven't we? So
we've got a good relationship with them now. Built up that trust, I think.
You know, you go home every time you've done outreach feeling very lucky for what you've got, very sad for what's happened to these women. What I will say though, and I think you'll agree, it's a privilege for us to work with these women because they're absolutely amazing, aren't they? Yeah. Each and every one of them, they've got so many skills which aren't being used. That, you know, it's so sad, isn't it? But they're absolutely amazing women.
It's clear that everyone involved in this project is passionate about helping the women off the streets and into a new life. But in their business and in their rehabilitation, for these women, passion doesn't come for free. Will the oldest trade in the world finally have met its match in the form of hot drinks and sandwiches?
I don't see any way out of this. I don't know where there is to go. There's no real support if you wanted to change your life. I mean, which, you know, nobody really wants this. Is there anything for us to do?